Hello, Pat Struby, founder of Preservation Specialists. Excited to be with you here today with our Black Diamond tutorial. Black Diamond is the new, and we think improved, client portal. This is something that we've been working on a lot since our transition with Arcadios in the fall of last year. I've personally spent a lot of time on it. I think it's a very powerful site. And what I love about it is it should have something for everyone. If you just want the very basics, hey, how's my account doing? How much money do I have? It's great for that. If you want to dig into all kinds of details and looking at breakdowns and asset allocation and transactions, it's got all that too. We think that because is so powerful, it's going to replace a lot of paper, a lot of need for reports, different statements, different things even in our meetings. We'll be able to use. We're getting our screens set up, making sure that's really user friendly for everyone. So you're going to first of all, I wanted to just make sure to mention how excited we have been for this. Also, to let you know, you'll be getting an invitation by email. It's going to be, just so you know, it works. The site is bdreporting.com. BD stands for Black Diamond. I know we're all in heightened as far as security, making sure we're working with the right sites for anything. Obviously, this is not mandatory, but we're planning on using it for our back office. If you call in with a question, we're going to be using Black Diamond for all of this. Should replace most or all of the other logins that you may be using. If you prefer to continue using the old ones, of course, that's fine. The only one that may be changing in the future is eMoney. We have some clients that have used eMoney, but that we don't know if that will be compliant going forward. So there's one change that may happen in the future. If you decide to move forward with Black Diamond, there is no cost to you. We are covering all of that. You'll get an email. You'll have to accept the terms and conditions, create a password, set up your security questions. And so you'll be able to get in, and it is available on all platforms. So I'll be showing you a demonstration on a computer. Of course, it works for PC or Mac. And then, of course, tablets or your phone as well. So it will work on all three. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my screen and kind of give you the layout of Black Diamond. So this is an example. This is a sample client. There's no real person. We did kind of put in some examples of different types of accounts that you may work with, you may recognize. So this is somebody. Let's say I'm that sample client. I have about $1 million in my nest egg. You can see on this home screen that I've got some different accounts. So it's got very basic information here. This is something, if you're just the type of person that says, hey, I want to log in once a year and check my total, once a quarter, once a month, once a week, once every day. The values update daily. So that'll give you that kind of information. And then you can see on the right, you have just some basic contact information for our office. We may add more information there in the future, but at least you've got it right away. Very easy to find the email, phone, and actual building address. Let's go ahead and dig into some of these options you got up here. One of the things I'll mention about Black Diamond is anytime you see an arrow, then you've got options there, and you're going to see a lot of those in the next few minutes. Net worth. We have the ability to do some really detailed net worth in Black Diamond. So you can be as detailed or as generic as you want to be. In this example, this particular sample person has 6 accounts, and you see that arrow right there. And you can click on that and drop it down. You can see what's held in there. So we've got a Blue Rock Real Estate Fund here. And so you can kind of just see some of the basic information. This is the very basics. We'll see more details in just a moment. You'll notice something that I can't do anything with here in the sample, but add account. This is a pretty exciting feature. You have no requirement to use this, but if you want to just use Black Diamond as your home base for all your finances, you can add outside accounts, accounts that Preservation Specialist doesn't manage. You can do that 2 ways. So you can actually link it, if you're comfortable with that, by logging into some other online account. Black Diamond will sync with that on a daily basis. Uh, we have found a lot of people really like that. That could be bank accounts, it could be money markets. Maybe you've got a brokerage where you just play around with some stocks and you just want to see it there. Maybe there's an inherited account that's sitting somewhere else for whatever reason. All of it can be here. That can be beneficial to your relationship with your planner here, because if you allow us to see that, then we're seeing your whole picture, not only for our day-to-day planning, but certainly if we're preparing for a review or a strategy meeting with you, that they'll give us that information. The other option is you can manually add an account. So not all assets or accounts have logins. So maybe you've got a CD at a small bank and you want to add it in there. Of course, that wouldn't be changing in value, but you'd have the holding there. You could track other types of assets. You could track the value of your home, a business, land, anything like that. You could do that by adding it manually. Now, let me go to the portfolio section. This is really the power of Black Diamond. So I'm going to take you in here so you can see this dashboard. If you like any type of details, I think you really love this. We have you set up with 5 different tiles that you can see here, and you'll be able to work with and play with all of them. A few features I want to make sure you see. First of all, you have a filter here. So right now it's showing the entire net worth. You can see the allocation is 1.1 million in all 3 of these. At any time, I can go to filter and I can say, hey, I only want to look at some of these things. I'll come back to that later. Another one is you have the option to work with the date. I think year to date is probably a good one. But if you said, boy, I really just want to see my transactions for the last month, you'd be able to do that here. Very easy to do. We think this is a great example of if you pull up a report for transactions for a month, that's essentially replacing what you would see on a monthly statement. So it's pretty cool. You have access to it all the time. You don't need to have file cabinets full of paper that you're wondering, do I need to keep this stuff? All of that data will be in here. And then the third one I just want to make a point of is you can see this information and work with it here, but we'll also click on each one. You can see it more close up. But one of the things you can do is, again, you have these arrows. So right now we have you seeing your allocation by class, but you can change that here and you have some different options. So I do want to take you through these one by one just so you can see how they work. We'll start with the activity summary. The unfortunate thing is we've spent many hours working on Black Diamond. We were hoping to get everything in by January 1st, but unfortunately not everything did. So in this example, you can see some of the accounts were reflected on January 1st, but some of them did not come in until after that. And so that's why you're seeing these values go up. But once everything got in, you can see in this case on February 13th, this client had $1,089,000. And then now it is $1,073,000. And so you'd be able to actually see, well, how did those changes happen? Well, I've made some withdrawals here, and then looks like the TD Ameritrade account has had some losses, and then there's been some income. So I think that's a pretty cool snapshot. A lot of times people say, hey, what did I have in the beginning? What have I taken out? And how much have I earned? And then what's it worth now? We're hoping this will be a really nice, just simple snapshot to be able to look at those types of things. That one is definitely designed to be more big picture. To get back to the dashboard, you can come back up here and click it, or you can go back here. Should be pretty easy to go back and forth each time. Excited to show you about the allocation. So all 3 of these are the same person's assets, the same thing, but showing you 3 different things that we thought would be interesting to look at. So let me get rid of that. So allocation by class. So what you're going to see with this client is they have 39% of their money in something that's considered alternative. That might be real estate, private equity, things like that. About 6% in equities. That'd be stock market. I would use stock market as my term because I think that's more simple, but we did not have the option to change that. Just under 30% annuities. About 23% in fixed income. So that's going to be anything like a bond, credit funds, a lot of our clients work with, and about 1% in cash. You can see that in the chart here as well. And then now you get into all of these arrows that you can look at. So we've got alternative assets. Well, what is that? Oh, I can see here. Okay. 26% of the entire portfolio is in. Now they're saying REITs. I would love to get this changed to real estate. I've not been able to do that yet. But that gives you an example. You can say, oh, okay, well, what's my real estate? Oh, that's right. Yeah, Ares Industrial. My advisor we talked about that one, Blackstone. So you can see these different real estate funds. And you can even say, well, where is that? Oh, okay, that one's at Community National Bank. Great, that's good to know. It's possible you would have a fund or an account at two different places, so you'll actually have that listed there. So I think that's a pretty awesome breakdown. Private equity, you can see here's an example where in this case I'm holding a Wildermuth fund at TD Ameritrade and I'm holding an equity trust. So very easy to break that down, see how much I have in each of those, and then I can close that back up and I can move on to other things. When I look at my annuities, can be a little more confusing. We may change how these look. Most of these you're going to see the Ascent is actually the name of an annuity, but a lot of these are the investments, the indexes inside the annuities. So you click on that, you can see, oh, this is a North American annuity. Some of it's in this 3-year option, some of it's in the 2-year. That's something that you could see if you went back to one of your annual statements. You'd be able to see the details on that. But pretty cool. You can see all of it right here. We've never had anything with this type of detail. Fixed income, one of the quirky things is we have a lot of clients that have credit funds. That's going to fall under taxable bonds. So you can see Scion, Ares, Resources actually changed their name to Alternative Credit, but it's still tracking here as Resource. So there can be little quirky things like that, but we just think this is a really cool way for you to see your diversification, your asset allocation. As I talk about in my book, The Retirement Secret, there is no perfect investment. So you've got to have different things. It's the only way that you can protect yourself, and that can be confusing and complicated. So this is a quick place where you can see all that. Now, a couple of things we can do. We can filter this and say, you know what, I just want to look at my equity trust account right now. Oops. Is it not going to let me do that because my smiling face is in the way? Okay, let's apply that. Okay, now I've got my allocation by class just at equity trust. And I can see at equity trust, of course, I don't have any annuities there, but I have some alternative assets and I have some fixed income. So pretty cool how you can break this down and at any kind of level that you'd like to. I want to do equity trust and TD and Community National Bank, but I want to take my annuities out. So this is everything. For example, if you're thinking about our financial house, this is probably my roof and walls, but not my foundation. So I can see I've got 58% in alternative investments, 34% in probably mostly credit funds, about 6% in equities, and once again, I can go in here and I can break those down. So we think this should be very helpful and interesting for you. The other thing you can do, we'll come back to this later, is you can also change the classification. But I wanted to start out showing you why we chose class as the first one, because we think your allocation, divvying up your, not putting all your eggs in one basket is one of the most important things that you can do as you're planning for retirement and then in retirement. Now it looks like I have forgotten, as you can see, it's not 1.1 million anymore. I forgot to change that. So you can see my filter is on 3 accounts. It's a quick way I can catch that. So I'm going to select all of those and go back to having everything. So that should bring it right back to 1.1. So if you see anything that looks a little odd, you might have forgotten your filter. You might have forgotten your dates up here. Those are ones you can always play with. Let's look at allocation by style. Style is just a term we had to use when the information feeds into Black Diamond. It came up with some really some terms that didn't really make sense to us. So a style is just our way of being able to give you a nice list of what accounts what accounts am I working with. So this client can see I've divvied up really nice. They've got a fourth of my money in equity trust, a fourth of it at Community National Bank, and then the rest divvied here. And once again, you can come right in here and just click on that account and see, oh, okay, I got my money. I've got some Cottonwood and I've got some Ares. And those are all held at Community National Bank. So if you're trying to remember, I know you get so much stuff from us by mail and email, and it's easy to say, wait, where is that? Where do I hold that money? This, I'm hoping, will be a really great way for you to be able to see that. Once again, you could change that filter and not see all the accounts as well. And then one more time, we've got assets now. So this shows just great diversification here with all of these assets. And so what it's showing you is what are the biggest holdings they have. So in this case, it's this annuity, the Ascent Pro. Is 100,000. You can see right there, and we just go right along the circle. The credit fund is next. Cottonwood, which is a real estate investment, is next, and then that's one of those funds inside an annuity. And then you got all those assets right here. So you can click on these. You can see where it's held, see the value. You can sort these. So you can say, well, let me see all my biggest assets, and you can run through those right there. So each of these is organizable. If you wanted to have it by alphabetical, you could do that. I probably have mine, as far as biggest assets that be there. So again, you could do that by account as well. And then on all of these, you can play around with how is it looking. So you can say, well, let me look at it by account first and then by asset. You can say account then by class would be another way to do it. You can say tax status we're working on. So not all of the accounts are labeled properly there. So it's another example of things just being really, really complicated. But anyway, you got a lot of different ways to see how your accounts are divvied up, and we just think this is going to be really great. We have over the years, there's been a lot of manual labor for us in being able to provide you that type of diversification. We think this is going to make us even better at what we do, and hopefully it'll be clear to you what we're working on as well. The last tile you have is transactions. If you're ever looking for physical statements or a statement of transactions, or trying to see what are my dividends, what are my management fees, what are my distributions, this should be it. It should be all right here. So we're hoping this will get rid of a lot of paper. If you like physical statements or reports for monthly transactions, it's all going to be right here. Very easy to come over here and just choose your dates. So you could come in here in one session and pull up 1 month at a time for a year if you wanted to, and see all those different types of things. And then this is information. This is information that you can sort. So you could say, well, let's sort it by what type of transaction did I have? Okay, well I can see all my withdrawals right here. So let's see if we have some fees here. Sometimes people say, what type of expenses do I have? Yeah, so you can see those. Transfers, of course, these were coming in during that time. You see the management fees here. So just an awesome way, we think, of being able to look at all that. Once again, you can do some filtering over here. So it looks like we'd be able to just do management fees. There you go. You got your management fees over that time frame. You can also filter the accounts, as always. So if you say, I want to know what my dividends were at Community National Bank, let's do that. Let's do Community National Bank. So that's in the filter over here, which is at the higher level, and then at the lower level, I'm going to say, okay, I didn't have any management fees there. Can I do dividends? Maybe not. Let's try income. There's so many details here. I'm still learning too. Yeah, so there's your dividends. So these are all the dividends we had just in Community National Bank. Very cool, very powerful stuff. So that's kind of the breakdown of everything that we have for you in the portfolio section. You can get to all of those up here as well. Most of the things in Black Diamond, there's multiple places to get there. So if you ever forget how you did it, just kind of hunt around on here. You should be able to find it. A couple more things I wanted to mention. This is a brand new feature in Black Diamond. We've never used it. It's called Timeline. It's almost like a text thread between you and your planner. I have no idea yet if this is something that you'll like and use. We have not tested it yet. It provides a secure place for that conversation. If you do email with your planner right now, this could be a possible way of replacing that, because the emails wouldn't get lost in our inboxes, and it's secure. So we have a private place where we can carry on that conversation. So we'll see if that becomes interesting. Let's say we're planning for a strategy session in person in a few weeks. We might want to share some documents with each other. This is a way we can talk about that. And the vault is the sharing place. So for anyone who's used eMoney, eMoney has a vault as well. This is intended to be a secure place where you can save documents. We think the most common things that will be used here would be a great place to share tax returns with your planner, so you can see what's going on with your taxes, estate documents, wills, trusts, power of attorney, all that kind of stuff. If there's anything we want to share with each other prior to a strategy meeting, this is an awesome place to do that. The other thing is under reports, if you have an account with TD, we're told that those statements will actually automatically load to the vault on whatever basis that those are generated. So that could be kind of cool as well. So there you have it. That is the Preservation Specialist tutorial for Black Diamond. I hope you found that helpful. We are really excited. We also know that there's a learning curve with any new technology. Please bear with us if you have frustrations with it up front. If there's any issues with logging in, please let us know. We will be doing our very best to provide help and assistance, and we hope that this is ultimately helpful in helping us accomplish what we're always trying to do, which is to provide you with as much peace of mind with your retirement as possible. So please give it a shot if you're interested and give us feedback. And as always, we look forward to working with you in the future.